cops kill a man, all right? They avoid murder charges. They have to resign because, they committed murder. And then they get paid $500,000 for resigning. Put up the picture full mass. 3 Tacoma, Washington police officers, Christopher Burbank, Matthew Collins, and Timothy Rankin, who were found not guilty in the case of Manuel Ellis, who died in police custody in 2020, will each now receive a bonus for killing a black man. $500,000 because they resigned. I kid you not. Chief Avery L. Moore announced on Tuesday that the officers voluntarily resigned and left in, quote, good standing, despite one of them violating department's courtesy policy in 2020. All 3 were otherwise cleared of departmental violations, the policies at that time, under those policies then. Now, once again, they voluntarily resigned, according to the record. Elizabeth Pauley, the city manager, said in a statement, quote, these agreements support a responsible, constructive path forward for our community and Tacoma Police Department. I acknowledge their healing throughout Tacoma will require time, open dialogue, and shared respect. What, ma'am? Matthew Erickson, a lawyer for Mr. Ellis, the Mr. Ellis's family, criticized the agreements as perverse. He highlighted that the former officers had already received about $1.5 million in total during their nearly 4 years on leave. Everyone in the community should be upset at this. So cops literally get paid more money when they kill people. Well, black people in particular. Meanwhile, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Washington launched the investigation into the fatal arrest of Ellis a month after the 3 officers were acquitted on charges of second-degree murder and manslaughter in his death. The federal review aims to reassess evidence in the state's failed prosecution to ensure no pertinent facts are overlooked and to determine whether the officers would face civil rights charges in the 33-year-old black man's police custody death, March 3rd, 2020. If that review reveals violations of federal criminal statutes, the Justice Department will take appropriate action, said Emily Langley, spokesperson for acting U.S. Attorney for Western Washington, Tessa Gorman. No new evidence is expected to be introduced during the independent probe. Previously, the Pierce County Sheriff's Office faced criticism for botching the investigation after failing to reveal that one of his own deputies was involved in restraining Ellis, leading to federal scrutiny, as well as the creation of a new independent office dedicated to investigating police misconduct in the district. The trial lasted more than 2 months and ended December 21st with acquittals of Matt Collins, Christopher Burbank, and Timothy Rankin, 2 of whom are white, after defense attorneys successfully argued that Ellis died from methamphetamines he took before the fatal encounter and because he suffered from an enlarged heart. Rankin is Asian, according to the New York Times. While the Pierce County medical examiner concluded that Ellis died as a result of homicide from oxygen deprivation, the jury rejected the arguments by prosecutors who accused the officers of causing Ellis's death by beating, shocking, and choking the man while he was already hogtied and handcuffed and on the ground. On the night of his death, Ellis was unarmed and walking home with donuts from a 7-Eleven store. He had not committed any crime. He was confronted by 3 white deputies who held him down, brutalized him as he pleaded, "I can't breathe." So let me tell you something. The federal government is getting involved because they know the fix was in. Let me be 100. All of this, we're trying to check. No, they already know what happened. They clearly know what happened. They know that these guys got away with murder. And when that happened, they said, okay, we now have to get involved. But as they are now investigating the cops for murder, the cops get an additional $500,000 on top of the $1.5 million they already got. They couldn't even wait until the investigation for murder was finished in order to give them the money. All right. Rayyvana, I've never seen anything like this before. This is a first for me. What say you?
It is absolutely unusual for a U.S. attorney's office to step in and begin investigating this type of ruling, especially so quickly after it has taken place. They're doing so, and you're exactly right, because they know that there was at the very least gross incompetence on the prosecution's part, if not outright corruption, and that is
Yeah.
why they will be, investigating that. I'll also say, I have some people might hear the term acquittal and that immediately to them, makes them think innocent. But I have a really good friend who is a defense attorney, and the tagline for their office is, "Just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty." I mean, everybody
That's
knows that
true.
getting away
That's
with
actually
it,
legally true.
right? Just because you are acquitted, just because the jury might find you innocent, doesn't mean that you didn't actually commit it. And in this case, it is abundantly clear that
Yeah.
these officers murdered this innocent man. They reveled in the torture that they put him through, and they killed him. And that was the conclusion of the autopsy.
Yep.
So the fact that this trial could turn out any other way is just evidence of the corruption and the incompetence that led it there.
Yeah, and they likely stack the jury pool as well, which is a tactic that is old school, but still available with some of the power that these local jurisdictions have.